What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access, and today we're joined by Ras Kass. Thank you for coming through, sir.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure, man. And today for Best Albums, Ras has selected Redman's Muddy Waters.
Yeah.
So this is, so Ras, man, this album is phenomenal. It's Redman's third album, released in '96. So he was coming off What the Album and There Is a Dark Side.
Right.
So for you at this point, how were you viewing Redman as an artist going into Muddy Waters?
I thought he was like black, right? No, I'm just kidding. Anyway. No, Redman was always Redman. Dope. And I really love There's a Dark Side too. I've always liked it. I love every Redman album. But, so the interesting thing is, I don't think I ever even told him this, is that, okay, I'm gonna allude to something else and then we can cut back into Muddy Waters. Back then, people still had demo tapes when There's a Dark Side came out. And so you would hear other artists, their A&Rs were trading people's albums, like listening, like what you got coming. So I had Redman's album, There's a Dark Side, before it came out.
Okay.
And then by the time it came out, it was all the same beats, but he had flipped the rhyme, so I realized he was picking the production first.
Right.
And kind of figuring out where the rhymes would fit. He was writing the rhymes, but not necessarily knowing where they was going on beat. So that actually literally changed how I started crafting my stuff, because I was like, oh, he's leading beats first. Because that's true, like the music is the foundation, and make sure you pick, whatever. So shouts out to him, I never told him that. But with Muddy Waters, I was already, fanned out. I thought he had killed There's a Dark Side, and I didn't think he was always like, he's 2 for 2. You got to fall off at some point, and he just didn't. And so Muddy Waters was iller. They're all ill, but it's just at that time. It started off ugly. Is he for really can't be? So that record had me going. Scratching, Rock from Helter Skelter was dope. That was my label mates and my friends. He has a Case Closed was sick.
Yeah.
Pound for pound, just record for record. Those are 2 of my favorite standouts that I would literally drive and just loop and have on repeat. Because the way I listen to albums is, I would buy a CD and drive and just start from the beginning. But I may not get to the middle of the album for months.
Really?
Because I'm a habitual listener. Like, if the first song is banging, I'm just gonna keep repeating it. Basically for 2 reasons. Because I like it, and then I'm trying to figure out what I like about it.
Okay.
And so I would be stuck on one song. Everybody's like, the album's banging. I'm like, I don't know. I just know song number 1 is crazy.
Right.
Yeah, and so I was stuck on records with him. Like,
interesting.
Yeah, that's just how I listen. Yeah.
Well, fortunately, Muddy Waters is ripe with many great songs, and one of them that I always loved was Whatever Man.
Oh yeah, of course.
Redman, obviously we saw with EPMD when he was with them before he came out with What the Album. I think he was a little more hardcore, but once we got to What the Album, we saw more of his personality.
Right.
So like with Whatever Man, I thought this was a good. You saw the humor, you saw the personality, but then you still saw the supreme lyricism going on with it. So for you, seeing Redman continue this kind of comedic vibe, but still be super lyrical, still be super hardcore on this song in particular, what do you think that added to kind of his mystique?
He, on the EPMD, on the feature records, he would say stupid.
Right.
Like, he'd have the one line that just didn't make sense. Like, that was out of left field. Like, this dude's kind of crazy,
Right.
But yeah, I think he definitely kind of summed it up, or finally found that perfect platform. Whatever Man was just kind of, Whatever Man. Like,
right.
And then half the hook was him like humming some bong, 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 yeah, like what the fuck is that? Like,
right.
Yeah, so it was dope. I mean, for me, I don't think I had met him in real life at that point. I don't think. So basically, as a fan, you're living through, living through the music, and I was like, man, he seemed like a dude you'd want to hang out with. I don't even smoke weed, but I'd smoke some weed with this dude. This dude's funny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he cool and he's crazy. Like, he thugged out, smoker, kind of, like, yeah, like a angry what do they call him? A pothead?
Angry weed head pothead?
Yeah.
Angry
like
stoner?
Yeah, angry stoner, like a thug stoner. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, he seemed like a thug stoner. I was like, man, this dude's cool. And then they really pulled it off, like especially when Red and Meth got together.
Right.
Like you could see that chemistry.
Yeah, and with Muddy Waters, obviously with Method Man, he had some huge commercial success, and with Muddy Waters, he had already established himself as a solid gold, getting a platinum artist.
Yeah.
But the thing I thought was so remarkable with Muddy Waters is that, like There's a Dark Side, really, it didn't have those big commercial songs.
Singles, right, yeah.
But Pick It Up, I think, was kind of the closest we had to that. But that even still was like nothing like a commercial song in '96. Right. So for you, like looking at Pick It Up and looking at Muddy Waters as a body of work, like how do you think he was able to really pull off being so good and so successful, but not having those big standout records?
You know, that's a really good question. Obviously, it was a different time. Yeah. I think just like EPMD, man, you know, Redman, he had a core base that, you know, grew with him and could gain more people. And I never really realized the power of, you know, because it was demonized weed. You know what I'm saying? Like America demonized weed like it was like meth. You know what I'm saying? And so he always had his weed song. Right. You know, he was already Cheech. He was Cheech before, you know, meth really got on the charm. So he was already about it. You know, there was Snoop, there was Be Real. And Redman.
How to Roll a Blunt from what the album.
Yeah, so I think that was a part, I think that helped. Because Pick It Up, because he's still talking about weed. You know what I'm saying? And people, you know, pick it up. If you find a bag of weed, if you drop a bag of weed, what the fuck you gonna do? Pick it up, pick it up. Yeah. So I think maybe he had that innate sense to kind of play to his audience, which was a hip hop hardcore and just the college stoner dude that could dig a cool song to kind of chill out and vibe to. He treaded well, and you know that's probably a credit to him, to Eric Sermon and the Def Jam to have that vision and know what they were trying to do.
And speaking of the EPMD lineage, you know, they had the Jane series, and on this album we have the Superman Lover Part 3. So that obviously was another comedic thread that he kind of, he added the storytelling with the comedy. Right. And with Part 3, you know, we saw it kind of evolving like Jane did with EPMD. So for you, you know, obviously rap is rich with this, with Compton's Most Wanted did it, with Def Wish, and DJ Quick did it with Quick's Groove. So there's a precedent for this, but with Redman in particular, what did you think was great about the Superman Lover series?
It gave you a linear story that you always looked forward to. So every album was like, where's he gonna go with it now? You know, and it's almost like it's almost like an episode in a TV show. So you know, before binge watching, you know, you'd have to wait and catch the next episode. Like same bad time, same bad channel. So it's like, yo, what's he gonna do now? Like, yeah, just awesome. Those dynamics changed now with the digital age. So I guess it only could have happened back then, where you had to stay tuned and see what was gonna happen next.
Yeah, you actually had to wait.
Yeah.
Which is a very different thing. And another thing that I thought was crazy, speaking of waiting, is you know, one of the early Hit Squad members, K Solo, re-emerged on this album after kind of not being around for a while.
Was he in prison? No, was he? No, he was out of prison.
Yeah, I think
he did. Okay, yeah. Then he popped back. Yeah, he did pop back on.
Because I was like, K Solo's on Muddy Waters. I was like, how about that?
Right.
I always thought the Hit Squad, EPMD, I think, and Eazy-E and Ice Cube, I think, are the three best A&Rs per se.
Right. Of
they
their crew.
Yeah, they brought out they always brought out like amazing artists. So it was good for me as a fan, liking K Solo and a lot of the stuff that he did with Hit Squad, and obviously the whole movement that they had, I thought was amazing. And to see it come back with Muddy Waters, it was nice to see. So
yeah, shouts out, you know, yeah, he did. Eric Sermon, Das Effects, K Solo, Redman, Keith Murray.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's
just right there, and EPMD themselves.
Yeah, and EPMD. Yeah.
So I mean, that's a rather robust roster right there.
Yeah, that's a Def Squad.
That's a Hall of Fame.
That's a Hit Squad.
It's a Hit Squad, a Def Squad, everything.
Right.
Man. And then, of course, DJ Scratch on the ones and twos.
Oh, yeah, murdering, yeah.
So it's impressive. So now, as we look back with Muddy Waters, what's your reason? What do you think is the legacy that makes it the best album?
It's one of my favorites because it still holds up, and that's always a big thing to me. Like, I've listened to albums that I used to like, and I'm like, oh, it's not. It doesn't. I mean, I know the nostalgia I feel for it, but when I'm listening to it, I'm like, it's not. You know, like, the rhymes was kind of do a little bit. Like, I think I was more wrapped up in the mystique of this particular record.
Okay.
You know, and you know, with Muddy Waters, I can listen to it and enjoy it almost new. Like the bars hold up. It's dope production. You know, like Gangstar records. You know what I'm saying? A lot of just the beats just hold up. They right. Still rock. You know, obviously production has changed and it will always alter a little bit. We're always using the same samples, but then you might trap the beat, you might R&B the beat, you know, you might slow it up, you might slow it up, speed it up, whatever. Those records, that album holds up to me, man. It's a good picnic barbecue record. It's a good kick it, chill record. You can play it basically, you know, you can have your moms over, you can have a chick over, you can have the homies over.
The edited version.
I mean, it's so laid back, you may get, like, your mom might not catch some of the shit that he's talking about.
No, he's talking a lot.
He's always talking shit.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, I just think it withstood, what is that, 20 years now?
Test of time, man.
Yeah.
96, 20 years, man.
Yeah.
There it is.
It's crazy. Wow. And shit, that's when my record came out. So he had already did 3, and I was just on my baby, on my sophomore.
Yeah. Well, there it is, y'all. Thank you for coming through today, Ras. Best albums, Redman, Muddy Waters. I'm Soren Baker on Unique Access. Ras Kass, Muddy Waters.
Unique
Redman.
Access, baby.